Today we're talking about bloating, brain fog, and burnout. What is actually connected with that? Welcome back to You're Not Crazy, You're Exhausted. I'm Tiffany Flaten, board certified and licensed nutritionist and founder of Rock Bottom Wellness. Today's episode is one that tends to hit people hard because it connects symptoms that most assume are completely unrelated. We're talking about that bloating, brain fog, and burnout, and why these are often a part of the same root issue. Most people treat these as separate problems. Let's get into it. Bloating, we think about, must be something I ate. Brain fog must be I didn't sleep well. And burnout, I must just be stressed. But what if all of those things are actually related and not separate at all? What if they are all signals coming from the same system? Let's start digging into this. So stop treating symptoms in isolation. Here's one of the biggest mistakes I see. People chase one symptom at a time and they try a digestive supplement for bloating, or they try caffeine or nootropics for that brain fog. They rest or vacation for burnout, and maybe each thing helps a little, but the pattern keeps coming back. And that's because these symptoms are not independent. They're connected through your gut, your nervous system, and your metabolism. Now, this gut has such a big impact on our health, including how our brain works. We talked about that a little bit last time, but let's make this real. There's a constant communication happening between your gut and your brain, and it's called the gut-brain axis. So this is when something feels off in the gut, like poor digestion, imbalance in the gut bacteria, inflammation. Your brain doesn't stay out of it. It is not unaffected. What you experience when those things are happening is mental fog, slower thinking, decreased focus, probably some irritability, and at the same time, your body is working harder to compensate for all of those things. And that's where this burnout starts to build. What is actually going on when there's bloating? What is that bloating trying to tell you? It's not just about normal digestion. It is a signal. It can indicate that you're not breaking down food properly. Fermentation is happening in the wrong place, and the gut bacteria are probably very imbalanced. Your digestive system is going to slow down in this situation. Here's the key. When digestion is inefficient, your body has to work harder and harder to extract those nutrients from your foods. And that means there's less available energy. There's more internal stress and inflammation in the body. Even though bloating feels like a localized issue, it is actually affecting your whole symptom and all of your system, I should say. So brain fog is not just in your head. So let's connect the dots on this. When digestion and gut function are off, a few things happen. You don't absorb the nutrients efficiently, like we just got done talking about. Inflammation increases, and the signaling between your gut and your brain becomes disrupted. This directly impacts your focus, your memory, your clarity, your decision-making. When you feel like you can't think straight or you are forgetting things, I just feel off mentally, this is not random. That is your physiology trying and struggling to keep up with everything. This burnout that people often describe themselves to be in is a physiological state. It is framed as an emotional or lifestyle related type of state, but there is a strong physiological component. When your gut is off and your body is under this internal stress, your nervous system shifts into a more stressed state. Your stress hormones become dysregulated. Your energy production becomes inefficient. So now you have ongoing internal stress, reduced ability to recover, and decreased energy output. And what that feels like is exhaustion, overwhelm, lack of motivation, feeling like you're constantly behind and can never catch up. And this is not just about doing too much. It's that your body is not being supported well enough to keep up. And how all of these things kind of feed each other is this. Becomes a cycle, a vicious one at that. You get your poor digestion issue that causes bloating. And then that bloating causes gut dysfunction, and that causes inflammation. When you are inflamed, you will end up with brain fog. And that brain fog plus the stress goes into burnout. And then burnout worsens the digestive system, and it goes round and around and around, and you don't know often how to fix it. And this is why those quick fixes do not work. You might get a little bit better in one aspect of things, but not everything. Because you're not dealing with one issue, you're dealing with like this whole entire loop. We have to look at all of it together. These are some signs that might be your pattern. You might be in this cycle if you feel bloated regularly, even with healthy foods. Your brain feels foggy or slow during the day, and you rely on caffeine to function. A lot of people feel like they cannot do the day without their caffeine at certain times of the day, and that's not how it actually should be. You feel wired, but you're actually exhausted. And a lot of times that's because of the overuse of caffeine. You crash in the afternoon around that 2 or 3 p.m. Or sometimes in the evening, even when you feel like your body is just not keeping up or that it should be able to keep up. These are not random, they're connected signals. This is where you need to start to fix yourself. Do not fix this by chasing symptoms. You start by supporting the system. We first have to do some of the things we've been talking about in the other episodes. We have to stabilize up blood sugar because that will reduce the stress on the body and it improves your energy consistency. You need to prioritize protein and nutrient dense foods. This will help support and repair your brain function. You need to support your digestion. Even simple things like slowing down when you eat can make a huge difference, and reducing your overall stress load. Get the things out of your life that you can, and then modify the things that you can't. Not just mentally, but physiologically, this will improve your digestion. Look for patterns, not isolated events when it comes to your eating and your symptoms, because the goal is not to manage bloating, brain fog, or burnout separately. It's to break the cycle. If this episode helped you connect the dots to some of the symptoms that you may be feeling, you are going to want to come back for more episodes on gut health. We're going to be talking about 2 more things coming up in the next couple episodes. And if you've been feeling alone, you're not alone. You're not stuck either. We've got more and more information to help you and to help you feel and function so much better and get your digestion on track.